There is a podcast about an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years.
Hello and welcome back to Could It Be, an Oak Island podcast. We are your hosts, Deidre and Dustin White.
Hey, long time no see, everybody.
Well, more like long time no talk.
Yeah, right?
It's kind of weird. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, we've had kind of a busy week, right?
Week, yeah,
Month.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
forever, but...
Well, I was sick last
You-
time we were doing the podcast, and then we've had, I don't know, just a lot of crazy stuff going on. For instance, our treasure hunt.
Yeah, always something going on with a treasure hunt.
Well, we crafted a treasure hunt
Yes, that one as well.
for our friend Mike and Christy over on the Calazar's vlog on YouTube, and that was a lot of fun. We hid a treasure in Astoria, Oregon, and we put out a bunch of clues to its whereabouts, and somebody ended up finding it last weekend, and that was just really exciting.
That was super exciting. Yeah, that was a real blast. I know we've mentioned the Calazar's YouTube channel in the past, which is where the clues were released on there, and then, of course, on Facebook on The Grand Adventure.
Yeah, and he provided the prize too.
Yes. But, man, that was a blast writing it.
Oh yeah, it was fun. The theme was the Goonies, and Deidre came up with that, and good job. That was awesome.
Thank
It's
you.
perfect.
Yeah, we should make sure I get credit for coming up with the theme because it was pretty rad.
Yeah, well, who doesn't like the Goonies, right?
I don't know.
What are the Goonies known for? Going to find treasure?
Duh.
Duh, right? So
Duh.
it was killer.
It was about an adventure, right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't usually like to pat ourselves on the back too much, but it was really good, you guys.
It was really good. So if you guys end up wanting to see the solution, how the clues worked out, where it got you to, yeah, we're happy to share that if you didn't get an opportunity to participate in it. Hopefully we'll get to do some more treasure hunts in the future.
Yeah, maybe I'll just post that into our Facebook group, just a random post that is about that treasure hunt that has all of our solutions in it. And it'll have the clues too, but the solutions will be right there. Actually, a friend of ours, Kristen, had shared those clues to our Facebook page, and that was really funny.
That was really funny.
And so then I, in turn, shared them to our main page, and yeah, I don't know. It was funny to see them pop up there.
Yeah, nobody knew we had written it until after it was found. So that was kind of fun too. So when people are realizing where it's at and that it's not far from us, they're like, "Hey, you should go boots on the ground, go try to find this." We're like,
Yeah, people are asking
"Oh
us to
yeah,
help them
never
go
heard
find
of
it.
it." Yeah,
That was pretty
have to
funny.
play it off. But besides that,
Besides that, we've had an episode of Oak Island. Mm-hmm. We've had a Maddie Blake special about Oak Island.
a drilling down.
Yes. And, another thing that we just love that just started was The Amazing Race.
Woo woo.
Yes. And, to get ready for The Amazing Race, Deidre and I have kind of been binge watching a couple of the older seasons.
Yes.
And it's just one of our favorite shows.
It's a real Bobby Dazzler, if you will.
Yeah, we were even toying with the idea of starting a podcast about The Amazing Race, and then it just never happened. We've just been too busy. Maybe next season.
Yeah,
but
that'd be great.
It just depends on how things are, because we might even be more busy. Who knows?
Yep, because we also have a couple podcasts up our sleeve. We're hoping to
Launch that aren't Oak Island
yes,
related.
that are not Oak Island related, that are not Amazing Race related, but still going to be a fun time.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for more from us. But we're not going to stop with the Oak Island or the Curse of Civil War Gold, right?
We have talked about whether or not we're going to talk about the Curse of Civil War Gold.
I think we're leaning towards it.
We're leaning towards it.
Maybe the listeners should weigh in on that, and if they want to hear more from us, as Oak Island the season ends, we can maybe talk about the Curse of Civil War Gold, and we are going to do some special just one-offs about Oak Island between the now and then when the next season starts. I guess that probably won't be until next November, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I like to think of it as Could it be Oak Island podcast off topic, off season, off topic? Maybe we got some
But it will be
Civil
on
War.
topic.
No, because Civil War is kind of off topic. I guess
Yeah.
the curses are very different from each other.
Well, it's got the same Laginas,
Well, it's got, at least
too.
a couple
Yeah,
of
we
the
got
Laginas.
Alex is joining that crew, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, and Gary's out there doing some gold dancing. It looks like they actually, this season, really have a lot going on. I think we need to binge watch that first season. I know
Yeah,
it was
refresh
short.
ourselves. Yeah, it was only like 6 or 7 episodes, I think.
Yes, and I don't know how many episodes they have greenlit for this next one.
Well, I wouldn't put it past them to do a lot because a lot of people complain about how much Oak Island recaps. This will probably be a similar thing, but it's kind of good to get a little bit of a refresher, especially when people aren't as into the Curse of Civil War Gold. I think there's going to be a bigger audience this next season for it, so it's good to have some recaps.
I think there will be, but what I think, in my opinion, what they're seeing is with, for example, the Curse of Oak Island having so many episodes, people, including the team, is it just me? They seem really tired.
Yeah, especially I think the one that looked the most tired was Craig.
Oh man, my heart went out to him.
Yeah, he was like, guys, let's just be done for the year, please.
Yeah, that's
and
a lot.
Rick's like, well, I don't agree with that.
Rick, you know me, I'm not a quitter. And I even have in my notes here where Craig and Marty both are like, yeah, I know. I wish you would just quit. We are tired.
Well, I don't think Craig's a quitter either.
Well, I don't think Craig's a
I think
quitter,
and
I
he's-
don't think he meant to like, I'm not a quitter. You guys are quitters.
Yeah.
It's more of, well, we're here. But I think you could tell with everybody, they're just really tired, or else we wouldn't keep hearing as long as everybody else is on board.
Yeah, that's true. They've been really pushing it this year. So much stuff.
Oh, man.
And I'm so happy they finally got to the swamp.
The swamp.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll get to that, but yeah, it's been quite the year.
Yes, it has, and it's quickly coming to an end. We only have one more episode. As we mentioned in the post from earlier this week, we are going to do episode 21, Seismic Matters, today. And we are going to also talk about the one that aired last night.
Yeah. Tuesday, the Maddie Blake special,
Yes.
Secret Weapons of Oak Island.
That, exactly. And try to get those together.
Yeah, this is for season 6. This episode was the penultimate episode.
Yes, the penultimate. Whatever that means.
Oh, you know what it means. The second to last.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I
Yeah.
feel like I need to get the thesaurus out because that's not an everyday word I use. I'm so
I hear
sorry.
it all the time.
That is so weird. How many
I
things do you binge
I
watch?
talk to and listen to a lot of intellectual people, okay? You could laugh.
I am laughing because I know some intellectual people that you know.
Do I talk to you?
Oh, yes.
What would you consider
But
yourself?
I don't use that word.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'm highly intellectual.
Did you use like the words Bobby Dazzler
Oh,
before the season?
Yes.
Oak Island? Oh, no, I don't think you did. Okay, I mean before last season. I guess that's when it had made its debut on the show.
No.
Would you consider Gary an intellectual?
Well, of course. He's
Yeah.
at the peak of his craft.
Oh, boom. He sure is.
Boom.
That's exactly what Marty said about him.
I know.
I have that in my notes too.
Me.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you want to just start talking about this penultimate episode?
I guess we should go ahead and talk about this penultimate episode. But how are we going to do this? Do you want to just wrap in the secret weapon episode with this? Or do you want to keep them separate?
Well, when we talk about Gary, why don't we chat, like whatever Gary's up to in that episode, we could talk about kind of what they talked about on the secret weapon episode about Gary. Same with whenever Paul pops up, Doug, Charles. I
Kinda
don't think
wrap
Tony
it in.
Sampson was on the regular episode,
No,
was he? No.
we are gonna have to spend some time on that guy.
Well, do you just want to do that right off the
Yeah,
bat?
let's do that. Let's talk about Tony, and he meets up with Maddie
Yes.
out at the swamp. Where
Yes.
he's done some diving.
Yeah, it's shown. So, okay. It was like an accident that he joined the team. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was really. What was he saying? That Marty and Marty and Alex were having some troubles with their diving equipment. They came to Tony to get some help, get some stuff figured out, and they just kind of happened to meet him that way.
And so he's been on the team ever since, basically.
Yeah, later
that's
they
like
give him a call, and
Season
here they
1.
are.
Yep.
And
So good on
that's
them.
kind of crazy.
Good on Tony for being there for him.
Exactly, man. That guy's got quite nice grit in his history there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was in the military.
Yes,
And
in
well,
New Zealand, and then he was a detective for 10 years
something like that. Yeah.
before he went ahead and just kind of dove straight into
Diving.
diving.
Yeah, Marty called him a dive master.
I feel like that's actually a term, though. Like, that's actually a thing that you could be dubbed.
Well, you know what was funny? When he was describing working in the swamp as like reading Braille. You know?
Yes, I thought that was actually a great way to put it.
Yeah, because like the zero visibility, right?
Exactly.
So he just has to go down, hope for the best, hope he doesn't touch anything sharp, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Luckily, he's only a foot under, or like 2 feet, 3 feet underwater, or whatever it was.
but he's pulling out whole tree trunks and what was it, like an oak stump that came out of there, and later they
planking.
find planking, and
From a possible ship.
then we see Rick and Marty in like the little
Dinghy boat,
raft,
yeah.
and Marty's just directing. Who is he sending off? Jack.
Yeah.
You go explore that over there, and you go do that. He's like, ew, I'm in the gross, stinky swamp.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel you, Marty.
It must be unpleasant. But
It
you know
has to
what?
be.
He wants answers, so he's going to deal with the
does.
swamp, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, well, Tony reinforced his belief that he thought that the swamp was 2 different islands and
I thought that interesting.
brought together, and he is a master diver, right? And he is very familiar with water and I'm sure shorelines, and I wouldn't turn my nose up at his opinion.
Oh no.
I
Absolutely.
know there's a lot of people that really don't like the idea of the swamp being man-made.
I don't, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of evidence in this last year, 2 years that could potentially say it may have been divided. Mm-hmm. Maybe not as large of a divide as we've seen in the images. Maybe it's like a very small canal that was between the two. Who knows?
I think that'd be a channel.
Channel, canal.
Same thing, right?
Yes, you knew what I meant, okay?
I know.
Me as an intellectual.
Yeah, you're really smart.
Depends on the day.
You're really smart.
But it is late in the day, so mama's brain's tired.
That's all good.
It's all good. Good in
all
the
good.
hood.
Yeah, so maybe we should really start talking about the episode now. We got the most of the Tony stuff out of the way. I think Tony does something with Gary later on in that episode, but maybe we could touch on that when we get to Gary later.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, where do we want to start? You want to
Well,
go?
everybody's still on strike, right? And so
Yes.
they say, I guess we need to go work in the Smith's Cove some more.
They're going to work in Smith's Cove. We've already touched on the fact that everybody's tired. They have a conference saying, what are we going to do?
Yeah, I think, I believe that Craig even said something along the lines of, after we finish Smith's Cove, maybe we should just call it a year. Mm-hmm. And he's a tired guy.
I don't blame
He's
him.
been through a lot in the past few years.
And it's been a long summer /
Yeah.
They're usually not working this late unless it was like season 1 where they were out there in the snow. But they wised up and, we're working during the nicer weather.
Yeah. But also, I'm pretty sure Rick said he was there until mid-November last year himself, but he was probably just,
He was just hanging out.
yeah.
He was probably at Fred Nolan's house. He's not afraid to stay the night.
Yeah. Well, Rick told them, hey, we can't beat Father Time.
We can't, and it's the inevitable.
Yeah. One other thing that was funny about that little scene is Marty quoted Winston Churchill again, but without Gary
Yes.
around.
What I feel like he must be a fan of the Churchill,
Yeah. Guaranteed.
or he always has a church. My question is, does he always have a Churchill quote on hand? Is that something we've missed in the past?
I've only noticed 2, but they've been almost back to back.
Exactly, that's my point. Maybe he's got his pocketbook of Churchill quotes.
So,
I don't know.
Yeah. You know what else was funny? Because then they did talk about, hey, let's do something with the swamp, right? Mm-hmm. And they basically said, like, let's do seismic testing out there. And then Marty asks if they already have the permits for it. Mm-hmm. And Rick's like, yeah, we do. Well, if they already had the permits, why is Craig saying, well, let's just finish Smith's Cove and go home?
Because they had the permits. I mean, you can go ahead and get permits and just wait. You know, they're good for a certain period of time.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
And say, okay, this is on the list of that stuff that we are thinking we want to do. If we run out of time,
Yeah.
then we run out of time. But at least we had our permits, and that won't be holding us up.
Makes sense. I
But
wasn't thinking about it that deeply.
I was
guess.
surprised that, I don't know, we started off with Seismic, right? And everybody was so excited, and we were going to get a real glimpse into the money pit. Awesome. Wow, we could do an X marks the spot, all this stuff. And I was so excited. And then, you know, we've had some letdown up in the mega bin or money bin or mega swamp, whatever it was. And that may have actually been a latrine. And my thought was, man, I thought at that point we had tossed out Seismic. We weren't seeing Eagle Canada again. And lo and behold, we say that Seismic must work in the swamp if it didn't work in the money pit. I don't know. I don't know
either.
that would be my first thing.
Well, they're looking for something different in the swamp. They're not looking as deep. I think they said between, 15 feet and 85 feet? Is that right?
They were much smaller charges, too.
Yeah, well, I think that's because they're not looking for the money pit there. They are looking for anything else that might be hiding under there. Mm-hmm. Like, they're looking for a possible ship. Mm-hmm. They're looking for possible backdoor tunnels or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, so...
And we know they drained the swamp, but there's still going to be a very heavy water concentration through there. So I'm very curious to see how that affects those results and how that shows.
Yeah. Well,
Very, very curious about that.
yeah, I'm excited about them doing the swamp. I wish we got more than 2 episodes of it.
Well, they were blowing up a lot of the swamp. Blow it up!
Yeah, it was funny. I think the first 2 episodes this season, it was like, okay, what are we going to do this year? Oh, okay, we're going to do these seismic charges. Okay, and then in the second episode, that was the first episode. For the second episode, we have Eagle Canada coming and explaining the process, placing the charges, detonating them. And then the third episode was something like, oh, let's continue detonating.
You're right.
It was really spread out. And now this episode, it's like, there's no time left as it is, but we got, let's shut off all the charges, and
there's more charges.
Yeah, and they didn't even show the draining of the swamp, usually that's something they would show.
It was editing magic.
Yeah,
bloop.
Do you know who drained the swamp?
The Loch Ness Monster.
Now
Billy in the swamp.
Yeah, they're talking about him. When Gary and Marty were looking through some of the spoils from the swamp that were, I think, lot 27, they placed them on lot 27. Gary had noted or was telling Marty that that Billy had noted when he was setting up the pumps that this area looked a little disturbed.
Yes, and you know what? I'm just thinking now. All right, so Billy helped them with the pumping the water through for the dye test.
He sure did.
He's killing it over there at Smith's Cove. He's
Yes.
even got his own wall.
Yes.
Okay. He's moving dirt from the crane pad, right? So
Yes.
he's moving someone else's dirt. He's draining the swamp. This guy is straight up the Swiss Army knife of employees / workers. He has to be Marty's favorite.
Well, he's always there. He never stops. And
Right?
what's Marty's number one requirement?
Get back to work.
Or what's his number one saying? Yeah, get back to work. Let's get back to work. Well, only
He doesn't stop.
He only
That's why
has
he's
to.
not in the war room.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that's the reason we've only seen him in the war room like once or twice. You know, it's because he's not. He doesn't have to be there. He's got something going on.
I'm so impressed with that. I am a little upset that he doesn't get to be in the war room a little more, but I feel like he may have no desire to do that.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think? I think season 5, Gary Drayton was the MVP of Oak Island. Mm-hmm. I think season 6 has a different MVP.
Oh, yes. And I sure hope you mean Sir Billy of Gerhardt.
That is the man.
Okay, yeah.
The man, Billy.
The man. Swiss Army knife.
We'll have to see. Maybe something crazy will happen in the last episode and he might lose his MVP.
No, he'll probably get kinged or like dubbed the king.
He's going to find a scepter.
He is actually the Knights Templar. Like he's the one actually heading this up. He's like a secret.
Haven't you seen somebody made some kind of image of him wearing a Knights Templar uniform?
I feel like I have.
Yeah.
It's amazing. He is my hero.
Someone else discovered it before you. Sorry.
They made it up. I discovered it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm way off track again. But hey, at least I'm still talking about Oak Island.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, I guess we just continue. Let's finish talking about the swamp since we're here, right?
The dreaded Fester swamp. Marty has some real passionate feelings against it.
Yeah, he was not pleased about the prospect. He doesn't want to get in it. As long as he's fine doing it if it's the spoils being brought to Lot 27.
Yes, but not.
He doesn't want to be in
He
it.
does not want to be like. It feels like this is his worst nightmare, and the only reason that we haven't spent more time in the swamp.
Because he didn't want to fund it. Because he's like, let's just find it without the swamp, please.
I feel like what he should have done, throw some money at it and be like, sorry, I'm out of town for work at that time. And just let Rick head it
Oh,
up.
I was going to say, just let Billy do it.
Yeah, Billy, Rick, you got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Regardless, we're in there. Maybe the swamp has some answers, huh?
I hope so. That'd be killer.
It at least had a button and a coin
Yes.
or a token, yet
Yes.
to be determined.
Well, they were explaining that the coin that they may have found could have been like a coin where the colonial Americans that were still under British rule punched out the face of who was that, King George? Mm-hmm. Maybe not.
Whoever the
monarch was.
at the time.
Yeah, they would punch out his face and,
And it'd still be currency.
yep, it's defaced, but meh.
Meh.
So it could have been that.
Yeah.
It looked pretty deteriorated, though. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's ways to figure out what it's made of and test it against other things that have
Yeah,
been found. But
I have no
it looks
doubt
pretty
that'll
bad.
happen.
Looks pretty rough.
Yes. It looks pretty rough. It did come out of the swamp. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's in tip-top shape.
Yeah. Well, the button looked a little better. And you could tell it's a button too. You could see like where the little hoop would have been. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The 1,700 button and possibly 1,600 coin. That's not a bad day. But
Not a bad day at all.
But you know what was funny? I don't remember which part of the episode it was. I can't find it in my notes right now, but it might have been right after this. But maybe it was in the episode last night. I don't remember. Anyway, they were talking, like, it was like a Robert Clotworthy voiceover. And he was talking about, although coins are commonly found on Oak Island. I'm thinking to myself, what?
I remember you laughing.
Commonly
at-
found?
And it shows
Like,
six coins
Yeah,
on the
I mean,
screen.
okay, there's been a handful.
There's been more buttons, I think.
I don't think it's like a common occurrence yet. I would love it to be a
Maybe.
common occurrence.
Maybe we don't know. You know what's also funny?
What's that?
Is Gary Drayton used to think that metal detecting was cheating.
Are we going to talk about him real
I'm
quick?
sorry. It just made me laugh because he talked about, he's finding coins, and he used to think that finding coins with a metal detector was cheating.
That's really funny. It's true, I guess.
That was
Did-
the
did-
real
did-
gem
did-
of the episode.
What, the pictures of Gary
Oh,
Drayton? Did you like
man.
those?
I'd even when you showed me that picture of him and I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Because it came out before us West Coasters got to see it. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I feel like I know who that guy is. Should I? The one with Gary and his flowing locks.
Yeah, and I said, it's your favorite metal detecting expert.
Yeah, I lost it. I was like, no way.
Man, I wish I would have filmed you. Like, we press record on my camera so that I can see, so I could show you your reaction when you realized it was Gary.
Wow.
Yeah. He did have some nice flowing hair, huh?
He did. He had quite the flowing locks and all kinds of stuff.
Hey, the bald looks good too, though, Gary.
It does.
It's
I
all
just
good.
didn't recognize him.
Yeah.
Caught me off guard. I didn't know what I should be looking for.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then, so yeah, he thought that metal detecting was cheating because he'd just go out and find coins on his own. Because he figured out what to look for.
Mm-hmm. And how to read the land,
Yeah.
if you will. Makes
Yeah.
total sense.
That's really cool.
Yes. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, so that's probably why you get him, like he's doing his metal detecting and he hears a signal and he's like, meh. He doesn't need to check that because he knows what it is. He knows it's not
he's
exciting.
At the peak of his craft.
The peak.
Oh, so when are you going to learn how to read the land and go find us coins?
Keep waiting. Not gonna happen.
Come on, I need you to just walk around, go find some money.
I don't know. I'd rather just study the treasure hunts we're working on.
Fine.
To me, that's more fun.
Ah.
I almost bought you a metal detector a few weeks ago.
Well, I don't think I'd earn enough back to make that worth it.
You never know. But we do live on the West Coast, and it's not as lucrative over here, I don't think.
Whatever, I could still find all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh, then maybe you guys should get it.
Not right now.
Oh, okay, well, maybe we should
One
work
of
on
these
the
days.
magnet fishing
Yeah,
goal
yeah.
first.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
But I kind of want a metal detector too now. Look
Oh,
what you've
look at
done.
that. Boom. So it was pretty cool when Maddie was talking to Gary about the best finds of his career.
Yes.
And they talked about the best find of his career, or the best find non-Oak Island.
Correct.
And that was...
The Spanish treasure ring.
Wasn't that thing incredible?
That was
I've seen
insane.
I've seen many pictures of it over the years.
And he said it was not a top pocket find.
No.
That was a safe deposit.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Well, it's like worth over like $500,000, right?
Yeah. That's a good find.
That's a really good find. It still looks amazing too.
That just blew my mind with
So was it like
links.
embedded like in the sand, like really deep where it wouldn't get pushed around, or I don't know how that would work.
It got washed up on.
Well, it'd been in the water or the sand for like 200 some years.
I mean, we're talking Inca gold here.
Yeah. Or
That's insane.
Almost 300 years.
Yeah. Whoa.
That make your like mind blown kind of
Yeah,
thing?
my mind's a little blown.
Yeah, so the gold was like, it's like more than 22 karat too, I think. And it was 9 almost flawless emeralds. And it's a beauty. It's a beaut.
She's a beaut.
Yeah. Yep. So, but then Maddie brings it back to Oak Island with Gary. And he's like, well, what was your best find on Oak Island? And of course it had to have been Drayton's Cross, right?
Yeah, the medieval cross. He said he knew at that point this was a medieval cross and there was something really special there. And you couldn't tell anytime you hit that replay and see the excitement over it.
Woo, 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 woo.
Oh, yeah. There's no forgetting it.
Yeah, well, he considers that his most important find of all time, even more than that ring.
Yeah. Could potentially change history.
Sure could. I hope they can prove it one day.
Yeah. They've done a lot of testing.
Well, that not just testing, but other evidence, deep underground in Oak Island, hopefully.
Or in the swamp.
Or in the swamp, or in Smith's Cove.
Speaking of,
Yep.
so the swamp, we get this flashback of some other metal detectorist a long time ago.
It's just metal detector.
No, it's a detectorist now. I'm making up words and I'm keeping them. They're all mine.
They're all yours. Okay.
Yes, you don't have to use them. Anyway, said metal detectorist, where'd he go? I think that's the real mystery. I feel like he must have got kicked off the island or something.
He got replaced by
Gary, like
Gary
many
Drayton.
years later, I hope we don't find him in the swamp because we never saw him again. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, maybe we did. I just don't remember that far back. We probably need to rewatch some of those episodes from back in the
I
day.
was thinking the same thing. I was like, when did we have? Well, okay, sure, but Gary, he's the man.
He is the man.
Okay, what else? Do we have anything else in the swamp besides the fact that we're blowing it up?
I thought in my notes I had that guy's name written down and I can't find it.
The metal detectorist.
Yes.
Well, I wrote his Steve.
Oh, see, you got it.
See, Steve Zaz.
Yeah, he had a crazy last name. Oh, I found it.
Steve Z. Yo.
Zazulik.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he found a large non-ferrous signal indicating possible gold or silver. That's what Robert Clotworthy told me.
And then, but when Tony went diving and Jack, it just disappeared.
Poof.
Poof.
Gone.
Maybe he came back and took it.
Yeah. Well, they were talking about because that was at that corner of the swamp that the new theorists that came in wanted to look at because of the star map thing, right?
A star map?
Another one? Yeah. You want to talk about it?
Sure, we can do that. So we hop over to the war room. We get another theorist.
Yeah, Chris Dona. He's there with Dan Hensky, Doug, Craig, Paul, and Rick chatting about the swamp.
Team's there. They're chatting about the swamp. We hear more about the as above, so below.
Yep, and connecting, I guess, the heavens to the earth, right?
Exactly. He talks about the different pillars of the Freemasons, how Leo is involved, how Aries is involved, all these different ones. We have a different constellation that lays over the swamp.
Yeah, seems like you could put any constellation on anything, though, doesn't it?
It does.
But I admire his effort, and he did give me and I guess the guys there something to really think about.
I have no doubt that it is highly possible that something with a constellation could potentially
Factor in.
factor into all of this just because we're thinking of the time period
Yeah.
that
Well,
was a thing.
Well, even back before that, the pyramids, the main pyramids are lined up in a row
Yep.
to stars, and so is like Stonehenge, right?
Yeah. And that's how they navigate. Man, can you imagine getting in your ship and you have to navigate the seas by the stars? Yeah,
That's tough.
This is no GPS, man.
Yeah, but it was easy for them because it's what they had.
Okay. It's not, I highly doubt it was easy. I'm using my air quotes here. Easy. It was a learned craft.
For a master sailor of the time, it
For
was
a
probably super
master
easy.
sailor at the time. But that is still, that feels awfully brave.
Imagine being some of the first people to sail over from Europe,
No. That,
not knowing what you're going to hit.
yeah, no, that's intense.
If it was Columbus, then Columbus. But if it was like
before
Leif Erikson, Vikings, or maybe it was the Templars, right?
before you knew the world was round and
Yeah.
you might just potentially fall off the edge of it.
What a bummer that would be, huh?
Man, I don't think I'd take that voyage.
Right?
No, I don't think that would be a really great
they're
idea.
very, very brave.
They are.
And we thank them for doing it.
Thank you, brave souls. Thank you.
So anyway, we should probably talk a little more about Chris's theory.
Okay.
And so they had the Royal Arch of Freemasonry was discussed,
Correct.
and how, like you mentioned earlier, that the pillars
Mm-hmm.
were Leo at the top, which is strength.
Correct.
Then they had Libra as wisdom, and Aries was beauty.
Correct.
And they formed an arch of the zodiac. Like everything else is in between those, right?
Yeah. So it has to do with the way they're laid out in the sky. And we talk about Virgo coming next.
Yep, and they do a cool little animation of Virgo shooting out of the sky and laying over the swamp.
That wasn't Virgo, I don't think.
Yeah, it
I
was.
thought that was Spica. Because at the end of that one, Virgo, he's saying is the womb, which would be.
Yeah, it's the main star of Virgo is Spica.
That's right. Okay, see, that's where I got lost. Apparently, I don't spend a whole lot of time with constellations. I should get
A
on
little
that.
bit,
A little bit,
but not
okay.
enough to know a lot about it. I'm not there either. I've had to study a lot of constellation stuff, but just not for this purpose. Not not the actual looking up part. More of just trying to understand it on paper.
That's right. And that would land in the southeast corner.
Yes, and Chris explained that the swamp was like the womb, right? Because if he can lay Virgo over the top of it, and Virgo is the female, the only female constellation, then it would connect to other strong women in history, like Mary, mother of Jesus, like
Eve
of Adam and Eve. So those were their examples. So I don't know.
It's another idea of this back door. I've been reading through Randall Sullivan's book, and
Yes.
again, we heard him before talking about a back door. So if this really was a vault or a bank deposit, like has been speculated with other theorists,
Yeah.
and there would have to be a back door, a way that wasn't necessarily drilling down through the money pit to access these things.
Yeah, I like what Chris said about that, because if at one time Oak Island was basically two islands, and before they had filled in the middle part with the swamp, and and if they did put a ship there or whatever, they would have used whatever kind of the closest point to that area would be to make a direct connection to where the money pit is. Like, I mean, I don't know that they would, but it makes sense that they could have.
Exactly. And they're not, that is a lot of work to do all these additional diggings and the tunnel. They're going to make a direct line. I'm sure they were up against a time frame to get this all done. And if that's the most direct and easiest route, it makes sense. And like Randall Sullivan was also saying, he would expect that there would be a shaft or a back door that you could walk through just off of the shore or near. And that's what they're saying here. If this was two different islands, same idea.
Randall Sullivan's was like something that used to not be below water, right?
That's what he had said on the show.
Theories.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked Chris's theory. Sorry to I don't remember the other guy's name, Travis something. I wasn't so into that theory, and them finding the big rocks. That was, I mean, sure, maybe it's a thing, but I think there's kind of big rocks everywhere, and so they were going to find them no matter where they went on the island. But I think I like this one a little bit better, and I'm somewhat impressed, but I wasn't nearly as impressed as I think Doug was. Doug was like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, I like that." He said that's cool.
He did. Yeah, I remember that. I'm thinking he was really intrigued by this whole situation.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're gonna impress Doug,
yeah, Mr. Researcher himself.
I think I'm more impressed.
Yeah,
because Doug is one of my heroes.
He is one of your heroes.
I think
he's also a secret weapon, right?
He is, and he. I guess we could talk about his secret weapon part, huh?
See what
Good
I did there?
That was
like
perfect.
that segue?
That was awesome.
I'm getting pretty good at this.
Yeah. So, man, Doug, he was like, he's probably my MVP for the season. Sorry, Billy.
Ooh.
Shots fired.
Man.
Well, the 90-foot stone is such a big deal.
We have not definitively proved this a 90-foot stone.
I guarantee you that Doug thinks it is.
I didn't say he didn't. Now, it has been debated whether or not that stone that was in the book bindery was something just for promotion or
Was
what,
legit.
or
Yeah.
was legit. I do believe that that stone is the one that was displayed in the book bindery window.
Yes.
And he was able, through a whole lot of research, track it down. Now, whether or not that stone is indeed the 90-foot stone, that's yet to be determined. And I
Yeah.
don't know that we will ever definitively be able to determine that unless another stone shows up. Oh, wait, there's a guy that peed on a rock somewhere. It
Tori.
could be. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I totally buy that it's 100% the original 90-foot stone.
Okay.
You're not going to change my mind.
That's fine. I don't have to change your mind.
I think that is, and it's super exciting.
I hope it is. I hope that there is something we can get off of that. I'm super impressed with Doug's persistence there. Man, being able research is a huge part of the treasure hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And
100%.
what I thought was really interesting, yes, Doug was I loved having some background on Doug there. Actually, I really liked this drilling down or digging deeper, whatever.
It was
This
drilling down.
additional episode. I thought it was really awesome to get some of this background on the other people. For example, Paul Troutman,
Yeah.
that it never dawned on me, yes, there were so many people that worked here and all their things left with them. So there's this material
Without
sitting.
leaving records.
Yeah, so there's material sitting in grandchildren's attics and all these different places. And to try to track that down and bring it back,
It's a job.
that is a job.
Yeah. And I'm glad he's on the job. Mm-hmm. That's, Marty and Rick were really impressed with both Paul and Doug joining the team and doing what they've done.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot to take on.
Yeah. I mean, Paul is, I think they're both super valuable members of the team.
They're valuable
In different
this,
ways,
Yeah,
too.
in different ways. That's just that they have different sets, different goals of what they're doing and bringing. But I really like knowing more specifically what Paul was doing.
Well,
Because
and
it's a different set of research.
yeah, and it highlighted some of his background and his ties to Oak Island are really, really deep.
Man, that
Deeper
home
than-
video?
Yeah, right.
Whoa!
Well, they showed that a long time ago.
I
Yeah,
don't
but yeah,
remember that.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
That was cool.
It was super cool. Yeah, Paul's awesome. I'm glad he's a part of the team and he's got a lot to offer. I'm excited. I don't think the show ever really explained what he did, so I'm glad that they did this bonus
Yes.
episode because I knew that he was heavily involved in a lot of the research and stuff, but I don't think he was like in the parts where he was like researching with Xena Halpern. He wasn't doing that kind of stuff. But what was he doing?
Different.
But we knew that he was doing some stuff, and I haven't really searched him online to find articles that he's written or anything or whatever. I've seen a few Doug has written, but they kind of live and breathe this stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
And Paul's dad was on Oak Island many years or like
Many moons ago.
well, around the same time as when Dan Blankenship and all them like saw he saw the same Reader's Digest, is that right? And so packed his bags, went to Oak Island, tried to find treasure.
Man,
solve a
Reader's
mystery.
Digest. They're really I feel like they should be a sponsor here on the show because it is kind of their fault for a lot of this.
Good job, Reader's Digest.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good little background on those guys. It was fun.
Okay, we've already kind of gone through the theory from the war room. What else we got?
Plenty.
What? There's
We
more?
haven't even talked about any Smith's Cove stuff.
Oh,
yet.
I know. Smith's Cove.
Yes.
Dig, 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 dig.
Well, we had Larry. Who's Larry?
So who's Larry? Is that Laird? And Terry, everybody
And then-
confuses
so-
them anyway.
so
So
what-
they're now
No,
their celebrity couple name is Larry.
no.
Larry
Oh, man.
and
No.
Terry.
They're twins. They're more of twins.
No, they're one person now.
Okay. No, I thought you were gonna go with Laird is Larry, Terry is like Mo, and then Billy's Curly from Three Stooges.
Okay, I was not there. I was
man.
going celebrity couple names.
Well, I don't
you
think
know,
they're Stooges at
like
all.
Brangelina or
Yeah,
whatever. No, I just like Terry.
Yeah, well, I
You
don't
know,
I don't
those
follow
guys.
that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, because you're not hip to the groove.
I'm not.
I mean, neither am I really. But that being said,
Well, it's funny because I
you're
have
just making
I-
up characters.
Well, I have Laird and Terry's names right next to each other, so that might have been part of it.
Definitely.
Anyway, Laird, Terry, Gary, and
Hey,
Billy.
Larry. Yep.
They're joined by Rick.
Larrabee.
They're joined by Rick. It's Miss Cove, right? Mm-hmm. And Terry gives like a little bit of a progress report.
Yes, thank you for the progress report.
Yeah, basically.
Breaking news.
D. Yeah. So no, he just tells him, hey, we're still digging, right?
Still digging. Still looking for stuff. Rick shows up.
Yeah. Well, and
they find something.
Gary chimes in too about saying, "Yeah, I haven't found anything lately metal detecting over here."
Yep. So no metal. No
He-
stuff.
Yeah. Well, Rick even says like, "Well, what about the wash plant? You find anything over there?" And they're like,
Nope. Wah, wah.
Yeah. But then like Billy starts
Crunching.
well, he starts just like scooping something up, and all of a sudden, hey, Rick, you're the good luck charm. We find something when you're around.
And Gary, if structures were treasure, we'd be rich.
That was a good quote.
That was one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah, that was a good little nugget from him.
A little nugget. A little golden nugget.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so tired. Okay. And they're digging. Dig, because we find a new structure. And Larry there.
Who's Larry?
Well, Terry and Laird.
So
Because they're
both.
working together
Yes.
on this structure.
They're working together.
And it seems rather big because they're trying to see how long it is. And Terry's like, oh, it just kind of keeps going. And Laird's trying to find the corner. And they do finally find a corner. We're finding the aqueducts, I think. The time is now.
You mean the flood tunnel?
Or the aqueducts.
Oh,
That
they found a
then go
bunch
to
of
a
place
flood
stones,
tunnel.
right?
Place stones
That's what they
with
had.
water.
That's what they had called it, or I guess Clotworthy.
That's what
Himself
Sir
did.
Robert of Clotworthy called them.
And so Robert Clotworthy speculated that this new structure could be connected to a potential flood tunnel.
Correct. And maybe a picket fence.
Yeah, and you know what I have next in my notes? Billy continues digging.
That's right. Well, and it cracks me up because we talk about Billy's precision and Terry is digging. He goes, oh, hey, Billy, can you just push this little bit back so we can see? And he literally just takes this tiny little push back, of dirt. It's
like he's almost
he
shooing
just
it away.
dusts it off. I was like, man, that guy, very precise. No problem. And, oh, look, yep, there's the corner and the rest of everything.
Yeah, and then,
It
but
was
then
quite
they found
impressive.
some like slats, and they're like, "That looks like a picket fence."
Yeah.
You know?
And Billy mentions that it looks like it's on purpose, but what for?
Well, Gary is like, "I never expected to see that. It's bizarre, isn't it?"
It is. How bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre.
What is that song? Ooh,
How
baby,
bizarre.
ooh, baby, making me crazy, making me
crazy.
crazy. Every time I look around, every time I look around, every time I look around.
I see your face.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
we're '90s kids. Sorry.
Yeah, I love it. Me some 90s music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, like, okay, so this is something I didn't quite understand. Because then that picket fence thing or whatever, then all of a sudden they're like, is that another shaft? Or what were they
I
talking
thought
about, a
that
shaft?
they were talking about the wall that had a corner that they were digging out and around, and that's what they were sure
I have
was
it
a
in my-
shaft.
I have it
the
in my notes.
picket fence was just like a random, Looks like the bottom of a boat or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah.
If structures were gold, we'd be rich.
Yeah, well, Laird was like, just when you just when you thought things couldn't get any weirder, right? But
No,
then
we don't think that anymore.
he does talk about, hey, we need to start digging and like just make sure we take lots of photographs and document it all because, Mr. Archaeologist over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you notice he was the only one using a trowel. He's very comfortable with the trowel.
It's the preferred tool.
It is. I was using a trowel today to plant some flowers in the backyard.
Yeah, you planted those stinky ones again. Ugh.
The stinky flowers?
Just kidding. I don't know. I was not paying attention
They're
whatsoever.
none of them have even bloomed yet.
Meh.
They don't.
They probably smell wonderful. My
Yeah,
bad.
I'm sure they do, and they look beautiful. Thank you. Me and my trowel did an excellent job, and we'll put peas in this next week.
I like peas.
Yeah, I like green beans, so we got those
Yuck.
too.
Bleh.
You're yuck. Keep your peas.
Whatevs.
Whatevs.
Hey, you want to talk about Dan Hensky from the Secret Weapons episode?
I wish we would have heard more from Dan.
Yeah, it's like almost like, okay, I know you don't watch professional wrestling. I grew up with it, right?
Yeah, so did I. My brother was a fan.
So it's like almost, there's professional wrestlers back in the day, like, let me think, like Andre the Giant, all right? Mm-hmm. So Andre the Giant didn't talk much. He just stood there
And was a giant.
And he had Bobby the Brain Heenan as his manager. His manager did the talking for him.
Okay.
I think Rick is Dan Hensky's manager.
Okay, I can see that. And you know what?
Yeah.
Anybody who has ever worked with me or done anything team related, and I've worked in a lot of team related environments, has known, I will say time and time again, it takes all types.
Even the quiet ones?
Yes. And the quiet ones, which often their strength is not speaking, either whether it be in front of the camera or to large groups, but if they can articulate that to those who are, and those who are able to do that will listen, you've got a nice happy marriage there.
Yeah, it's super valuable.
And you have to, I tend to believe if you surround yourself with only with people that agree with you, then you're all gonna always agree to do something. And then you're never gonna try anything new or discover something different. That's why we're in the swamp, because we don't always agree. And I feel like Dan is a silent secret weapon. There's so much information there.
Yeah.
They talk about the fact that they engineered these different tools and digging systems because they had no money. They were on a shoestring budget.
They had to do what they had to do.
Yeah, I mean, this is nitty gritty work that they did. These what were their caissons made out of? Old
Train cars.
train cars.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Like tankers.
I would have never thought, hey, let's just get some of those instead. That's a cheaper solution.
They've said that in previous seasons.
I knew that.
Oh, okay.
And I had heard that before. I'm just saying, I tend to think I'm a fairly innovative, creative person, but I don't think I would have ever come up with something like that. But that Dan Hensky was part of that. That impressed me. Rick said that he was in awe of Dan's ingenuity.
Yeah, like the whole partnership between Dan Blankenship's team, what he was able to do to help Dan.
And
Dan.
yeah.
Tag team champs of the world.
Dan
Bring it back to
squared.
wrestling.
And he stayed at the old rest hall cabin. And then they show us a picture of it. I'm like, whoa, Dan, you're hardcore, man.
Well, he was like a security too, right?
Yes.
He's a jack of all trades.
He is. I don't know. That guy's got grit. I'm impressed with that.
Yeah, well, I've always been a Dan Hensky fan.
Well, of course. How can you not be someone with that much knowledge that's been around it for so long and is still there?
Yeah, I don't know if it was like the first or second season, but they did a flashback to where they were going to try to find some coconut fiber, remember? And,
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was funny because Dan Hensky's like basically on demand. Oh, I know where that is. And he just went and they said he did some basic
basic trigonometry, a word you can't even say.
Yeah.
Dan goes, well, if I was standing here and then you see him, like, there's like strings and such. If this is here, then da 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 da. Yeah, dig right here.
You'll find it. Boom.
And there it was.
Yeah.
Trigonometry, and I can find you some coconut fiber. Okay, I'm impressed.
Hey, he's legit.
Yeah, Dan the man.
Even if everything else was cool about him, come on, that's like super cool.
That was really impressive.
I think Doug would say, that's cool.
Whoa.
Whoa. No, that's Bill and Ted. Or that was Ted.
You need to calm down over there. People can say whoa without it being Bill and Ted related.
Whoa. Oh, my bad. Okay. So anyway, yeah, Dan Henske, champ.
Champion.
He was probably MVP for a few of those years in between, the 60s and now.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Dan Henske is a treasure of Oak Island.
A
Boom.
real Bobby Dazzler.
Boom.
Top pocket find.
Yeah, well,
Found.
Dan Blankenship got lucky when he joined the
yeah.
team. So,
Seriously.
because he's dedicated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we do need to finish up at Smith's Cove. We do have a little bit more about it.
Correct.
We had Charles, Billy, Terry, Laird all examining what they found with the potential flood tunnel system or like the finger drains or whatever, right?
Correct.
They're checking around, and then who shows up?
Alex.
Lagina.
Yep.
Yep. He's like, hey guys,
What's going on?
I bet you guys are doing something cool. I bet I could jump in here and help you.
Well, they kind of bring them all up to speed, right?
Yeah, they do. So they tell them, about the rocks they found that are kind of piled in there and speculate, hey, this could be something major important. So could be even at the beginning of the convergent point.
Convergent point?
Yes.
We've never talked about the convergence point here, right?
Once or twice or 10,000 times. Okay. A lot.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and then Rick shows up and he's just saying, hey guys, do you think he's almost saying, hey, why are you standing around talking to Alex? Get back to work.
Probably. Or he's thinking, why are you distracting him? Get out of here. Get a shovel.
No, I know that Alex always jumps in there too, though. But Laird is explaining that if they continue back, it could become a significant feature, and then they're just going to slowly peel it back. And Rick's like, well, I guess you have to proceed.
Carry on.
Carry on. They can't do anything in the money pit, so let's just do it.
Yep. Billy, keep it up, man. Keep it up.
Yeah.
So the question is then, do they find the convergence point on the finale and just follow it back to the money pit? Or do we
indeed... Glory Road you always talk about?
Yes, do we find the Glory Road? Or does the swamp hold all the secrets?
Or does George Washington?
What, are we founding our country based off of all the money?
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. That's on the next time on Curse of Oak Island, but... Could it be? So we do have, I guess this is kind of the final scene. Mm-hmm. They're back in the war room chatting with the...
Dr. Colin LaCroix?
I think it's LaRoque.
Oh, LaRoque. I'm thinking LaCroix. I'm thinking of like the sparkly seltzer drink that comes in a pretty bottle.
That's like Croix.
Yeah.
There's no X in this guy's name, okay?
I can see that.
There is a Q, so
There is. So I was just going straight LaCroix. Okay. I was committed.
Yeah, well, he's the dendrochronologist.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
I hope so.
It is as close as I would have got.
I looked at my notes right before I started talking. And I was like, ugh, how am I going to say that word?
It's okay. I did the exact same thing.
Yeah, dendrochronologist. I think that's how it said. All right. So Dr. Colin LaCroix.
LaCroix.
Did I say that too?
Yes, you did. I feel like we need to drink seltzer water now.
Glug, glug, glug. Okay, Dr. Colin LaRoque.
LaCroix. Okay.
No, LaRoque.
Oh, okay.
From the University of Saskatchewan. They got him on the video conference. He's giving him some hard facts.
Give him the facts of life from the samples.
He said these are 99.99% accurate, he believes.
Well, with what samples he's able to give them.
Yes. Yeah,
right?
He wasn't able to determine everything yet because some of it is kind of deteriorated a bit much and he needs more time to study.
Hey, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that was Billy's Wall.
Billy's
Wall? It's because Billy's Wall, super duper mystery. It can't reveal its
It can't
secrets.
reveal its secrets just yet because it's had too many worms sticking through it.
Yeah. Basically.
So Craig tells him, okay, get down to the point. Give it to me. Sample 1. That is the 2-inch horizontal wall.
Yeah, he said it was tamarack larch wood, very common in local shipbuilding areas.
Lots of wormholes.
Like,
Still examining.
so those wormholes, do they like, if you travel through them, do you go to like a different dimension?
Yeah, you get to go
Or a different
to
side of the galaxy?
the medieval period where the cross was made.
Oh, so it's like
It's a time
it's a time
space
portal.
continuum.
Nice.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh.
That's fiction.
What, the continuum?
Yeah.
That's not fiction.
Okay, I'm not sure where I'm going here.
Yeah, well, you've heard that on Back to the Future. Okay. That's what Doc was always talking.
yes.
He's warning Marty, don't mess with the space-time continuum.
Yeah, gigawatts.
Yes, you're in the ballpark.
Yes. Okay. So
That's
this is gigawatts. And
Giga who?
Giga what? Gigawatts.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, Larry.
okay. So anyway, that was Billy's wall.
Yes. So they're still examining it. Too many wormholes.
Yeah.
They got stuck in a wormhole.
Eh.
Ah, so funny. Wow, I sounded like a goat there.
You know what you sounded like to me?
What?
Fran Drescher from The Nanny. Just for like a half a second. Yeah.
I'm going goat.
Okay. Ah.
Mwah.
All right, so item number 7.
Yes.
We didn't get item number 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, but let's hear about number
apparently
7.
not. Let's just jump straight to 7.
Well, it was an important one.
Apparently, it should have been up on the list then. So, sample 7 was the slipway, the north arm on the east end.
Yeah.
Red spruce,
Yes.
and they feel very strong about the date.
Of?
1771.
That's a long time ago.
What? That is quite a while ago, and as Paul says, that predates the money pit.
It sure does. And Jack noted it's an original feature, he thinks.
He is super on board with finding, like, he's sure everything's original, I feel like. Yes.
He's always excited about everything. It's good. I like
true.
having Jack on the team.
He's a good cheerleader.
Hey, why didn't we get Jack as a secret weapon?
You're right.
Well,
Jack's
I hope they're not trying to tell us something.
Uh-oh.
I think he is a secret weapon.
Maybe he's so secret, they can't tell us.
Well, I guess he's kind of been there since the beginning, but so is Tony Sampson, right? But he's just not
like,
on every episode.
Everybody's a secret weapon.
Yeah. Meh,
It's all about knowing more.
it
I
is.
kind of want to know more about Craig.
Yeah.
Why didn't we get more on him?
Because he's just been a partner, but since the beginning, he's not
So?
like a special attraction like these other guys.
Sad? No.
Well, it's just the same as Jack or Alex or even Peter. You know, they've been there forever.
That's not the same. You cannot compare Peter and Alex to Craig.
Well, no. Craig funds the thing, or at least he was
Yeah.
a big part of funding
Well,
it
and
at the start.
Like Marty's partner, they're obviously a pair of very
Maybe they're the
smart
tag team
guys
champions,
of the world.
basically.
That's all I got.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Anyway.
off topic again.
a little bit. That's fine.
At least we're still talking about Oak Island. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, sample 8 and 9.
Yes, from the U-shaped structure,
Red spruce.
same as the slipway.
What?
Yeah. And they were really good samples, very well preserved. Yeah, you noted like our last week when they were cutting them, even Rick said, "Wow, look at how preserved these are." Or maybe that was Marty. I don't remember. One of the brothers.
I think it was Marty.
Yeah,
And we were both like, wow, they're taking really big samples.
Yeah,
But I forgot, hey, they've also got to get off all the gross, partly eaten, worm-holed areas.
yeah, for sure.
So that makes sense. Okay, so 8 and 9 U-shaped structure, red spruce, with a date of?
1769.
Mmm.
So possibly right around the same time as the slipway. And that's weird because I swear I read somewhere before that they had done some dating on the wood of the U-shaped structure from like samples that Dan had pulled up like in the 70s.
Exactly.
And I thought they said it was like 1850s or something. This is much older.
Yes, so...
Yeah, I don't know.
You gotta compare some of this other data, and the problem is, as we know, good records weren't necessarily always kept.
Yeah. I bet you Dan Blankenship kept really good records.
I bet he did.
But he was kind of the the new breed of
Yeah.
treasure hunter from a different era.
Yes, because when people first started a long time ago, why in the world would they keep records of something they were trying to keep hidden?
You wouldn't.
Exactly.
You would make a treasure map that only you can understand.
That's maybe so big that you couldn't possibly know unless you stepped back to really take a look at it.
Or just look up in the sky.
Or that.
You wouldn't know Nolan's Cross is a cross back in the 1700s.
Mm-mm.
You just wouldn't, because you wouldn't be able to fathom that.
Or you wouldn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you would.
The right person probably would.
Dun dun dun. All that had to be maintained was the knowledge. Like my little song and dance there. It's like we've become the Oak Island musical.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like we could make that happen.
Oak Island musical?
Oak Island the musical, like the Broadway show. I see Billy and a cat coming across the stage, and then I see a lot of Martys in polos that are maroon in colored.
Lots of Martys?
Lots of Martys and many
Are they a choir?
white pants dying brown deaths.
What?
You know, because everybody like kills the white pants in these episodes.
Yes, the khakis get very dirty.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Thank you for making it less eloquent.
I probably made it more.
No, there's no way.
So who's the lead character
Me.
in in Oak Island the musical?
Yeah, so we'll just sit there and narrate it, and then we'll get some really great people.
Are you gonna sing?
No.
So you're the main
We'll
character
get
of a musical,
like
but you're not gonna
Channing
sing.
Tatum to do it or something. So who's
Is he a
really
singer?
who's big right now? He's like an actor.
Okay, but what about a singer?
Oh,
Why don't you
well,
get, like,
who cares? You
get-
just like dub over them.
No, this is perfect. I got the perfect. I mean, this could be a whole special episode where we're casting the Oak Island the movie or something.
No, it's the musical.
Well,
it has to be a musical,
Okay,
like the
anyway,
Sound of Music.
Yeah, so I know who to cast
Okay.
for Rick.
Okay.
It's Hugh Jackman.
Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah, I like it. I
Just,
like
you know,
it.
he's got to get the got to grow a goatee and kind of
That's
dye it
doable.
white. He's a singer and he's an actor.
Okay.
He's perfect.
But who do you put beside him as a Marty? This is going to be a real challenge. Do we get like a rising star from somewhere,
Huh. You have to get someone that can sing.
or at least lip sync very well?
I don't know. This is a fun exercise. Maybe we need to have a whole special, maybe like 20-minute off-season podcast about casting them in musicals and movies and stuff like that. Okay?
You know that if we tried to limit it to 20 minutes for something like this, it would take way longer, right?
Probably.
Okay, so
It could be fun though.
It could be.
Okay, let's
Could
stop
it?
talking. Yeah, it could.
It could.
Could it be?
Could
Yes.
it be?
Okay, so
Wicka wicka.
anybody that's listening, if you want to hear something like that, reach
You've
out
made
to us.
it this far into the episode.
No, just reach out to us and let us know you want to hear something like us cast a movie or cast movie stars and singers or whatever to be in Oak Island the musical or Oak Island the movie or whatever.
It should definitely be a musical.
You know what they should do? They should make it into like a cartoon, like Saturday morning cartoon. Oh, that'd be sweet.
No, people watch cartoons on YouTube now. They don't watch them on Saturday mornings
Man,
like we
Saturday
did.
morning
Like
cartoons were so great
they
back
were
in the day.
great, but you need to evolve. That's not the way it flows anymore, man. Yo, we got things like DVR because we don't have to watch commercials now.
Yeah. I love Saturday morning cartoons. That was a
Yeah, I
big
can
deal in
tell
my
you
house.
still love them because you seem really obsessed.
Well,
You're like, man,
I haven't watched them
I
in
really
like probably
love
20 some years, but
I bet you every Saturday morning you're actually watching them behind my back.
you got me.
I got you. Saturday morning cartoons. Maybe some Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes were great.
Sure.
I don't know. What was your... Okay, we're getting down
Yeah, this
weird
is
sidebar.
way. This is a rabbit hole. This is a wormhole. Okay, so we've already talked about sample 8 and 9, and then we don't get any more samples, which is sad.
That's fine.
But I do like that he points out people didn't just cut down trees unless they were planning to use them for a reason.
Exactly. It's a lot of work to do. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason to just bring down trees unless you're clearing space to build something. You're probably using those trees to build it back then.
Correctamundo.
Yeah, it's cool. It was really good.
It was pretty rad, pretty awesome, if you will.
When he said he thought it was 99.999%, accurate to that date. I'm talking about Dr. LaRoque, right?
You mean Dr. LaCroix?
No, leave him alone. What if he's listening to the podcast and you're messing up his name on purpose?
Nobody listens to our podcast.
There's a good chance he would listen.
There's not a great chance, but maybe a good.
Yeah.
But maybe he likes LaCroix. Anybody ever ask him?
Okay, let's stop. Just stop. It's fine. All right, so anyway, Marty was like, that makes me really excited to hear because we never get 99.999% on anything.
That's true.
So he was stoked.
Yeah. Stoked.
And Marty is like, I think we found the first conclusive proof that not everything we found is Searcher. And then he's like, okay, because I think it was Rick was saying like, well, do you believe now?
Rick turns to Marty and Craig are like, so what do you guys think now? He's like, and they're both looking at the table.
That wasn't gloating in at all, was it?
No, it was hilarious. But Rick's like, who are you talking to, me? Yeah, you. Oh my gosh, it was the best brother razzing.
Yeah.
Right there. That was so great.
He got owned.
Oh, he totally did.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, my question is, he came in like 70% sure something weird happened on Oak Island.
That was this season.
That was this season.
He was less than 70% before that.
I know. I'm talking about this season, opening scene.
Gotcha.
So do we get them driving away saying he's 99.9% sure?
It's probably 99.999.
You might be pushing it. Maybe not.
Yeah, well, Marty just finished the episode by saying that this is the biggest thing to happen since they had started this quest. So
yeah.
He was like, I was about to tell Rick we should just turn the island over to the archaeologist and the psychiatrist,
Right.
Get out of here. This is making us crazy. Yeah.
Making us, we are crazy.
Well, he's like, at the 11th hour, we find something that was 20 to 25 years before the discovery of the money pit, something crazy going on in, Smith's Cove and on Oak Island. Got to be investigated.
Gotta be.
One other thing about Dr. LaRoque, he was like, well, it gives you an answer, but I bet you gives you a lot more questions too.
Duh. That's typical Oak Island.
Typical Oak Island.
Typical Oak Island.
Yeah, so that was cool. But before we move on to next week on, we should talk about one of the other members that was in the war room that was on the Maddie Blake special, Charles Barkhouse.
Charles!
And they talked a lot about how he is basically in charge, like the lead tour guide on Oak Island, and that they do a lot of, or, he's just, was it him that they called a font of knowledge?
I think it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but.
I hear he's a cool guy.
Yeah, you think he's sneaky.
No, I joke around about that because everybody's like, sneaky. I hadn't heard that until this year. Obviously, I wasn't up to snuff on my Charles conspiracies. I bet you Charles, he's been around the island a long time.
His whole life. He grew up in the Chester Basin, they said, which,
exactly.
Chester's like right across the...
Yeah, that's where the historical society is.
I don't even think if you went over the hill and through the woods, you'd pass it. It's like it's much closer than that.
On your way to grandmother's?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he knows a lot about Oak Island. I love that he leads the tours. I would like to go on a tour to meet someone that awesome. Whoa.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try to, or maybe you can too, try to reach out to see if there's a way that we can get a half-hour interview with him or something this
cool.
off season. Because he would be he's on my bucket list for people I'd like to talk to about Oak Island.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So.
But, it may be the off season for us, but they're getting ready to go back out there.
I know.
It's kind of crazy if you think about that.
Yeah, within
they're
the next couple months.
They're packing their bags.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yep, then they won't have time to talk to us at that point.
That's so sad. But at least, if they talk to us before they get going, then it's not like they would have to think about what they could or could not share. Because it'd all be out there. So I think that should happen. Guess we better get to work.
Yeah, I'm going to change the topic just a little bit, not much. I want to talk about this Maddie Blake special overall. So what are the odds next season that we get another Maddie Blake special with, they're going to call it some other kind of secret weapon, but then we get Laird, we get Terry, we get the other guys, maybe even Peter Fernetti and
I think it was fairly well received
Jack.
Overall that they may do something like that.
I'd love to have some more background on those guys. And it's not like you're missing, I think some people, the people that do complain about it, they're like, they had to use an episode for this. Well, no, they could have like just not done any drilling downs and the whole season would have been over like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And then, you wouldn't have anything to look forward to or watch right now anyway.
And they'd still be just as tired.
Basically.
True.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like these little specials.
They're fun.
The Ghost one was but the rest of them have been really good.
For the most part.
I know
think
Maddie.
This was my favorite.
I know Maddie's really into the Ghost stuff, so Maddie, sorry, I'm not super into it, but I like the pirate one. I like this one. They're fun.
Yeah, I like the pirate one. That was fun.
Yeah. So 2 more things about the Maddie Blake special that I had written down before we wrap it up, as far as like
Wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, we had Tony and Gary to get tag teaming in the boat.
Tag team back again.
Yeah. Well, what did they do in the boat?
They put down the
ROV.
Yes, but I wanted to call it something different. The aquatic.
I know what you really wanted to call it.
What?
Little Buzzy.
Little Buzz. That's right. Little Buzz.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. The guy that owns it, his name's Ken Deborer, right? And so he calls it Little Buzz, but then Maddie calls it Little Buzzy.
That's right. He's like, yeah, Little Buzz.
Yeah.
He totally corrected him. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
But the clarity, wow.
Yeah, it looked really good. And I bet Tony's itching to
Dive
down there and check that stuff out. But they were really looking for where wharfs would have been extended off the island and things that may have fallen off those wharfs, or the wharfs themselves that just kind of deteriorate and get lost into the ocean, right?
Because if it was broken up into all these different pieces of property, like they had mentioned, there would have been several wharfs for people to access.
Basically on every lot, right? Or
Most likely.
basically. Like maybe not each and every one, but yeah.
It would be highly likely, unless they were building something together with their neighbor, or they own multiple lots, something like that.
There was
because there was no causeway.
No way to get on and off island with a vehicle or horse-drawn carriage or whatever.
Getting on and off the boats, that's where you're gonna drop stuff. It was interesting. They saw definitely some squares and some triangles, some wharf-like items.
Yep. So yeah, I mean that's exciting.
There's so much more to explore here.
I don't think they're going to get to that this season.
No, there's too much to unpack. There's definitely another season coming.
So this exercise was like Gary and Tony's brainchild, right?
It was them teaming up, working together for.
Gary knows what to look for in one section, and Tony knows what to look for in the other, and they put their knowledge together. And
again, takes all types to make a team.
Maybe they're the tag team champs.
Ooh. So are you saying they should pair up for the Amazing Race instead of Jack and Gary?
No, I think it should be Jack and Gary.
Should be Jack and Gary. They're good complementary pieces to each other.
Yeah. You guys should tweet at us this week about who you think would make the best Amazing Race team from Oak Island pairs, like either Jack and Gary, or how about like Alex and Peter? That'd be a good team, huh?
Maybe. I don't know.
Who, Alex and his dad?
See, I don't know what's gonna make the right pair. You gotta
Rick
have
and
some
Marty?
Opposites.
Well, Rick and Marty, that's an opposite for you.
Yeah, that's a good opposite.
Yeah, someone has to complement somebody else's weakness.
Yeah, but Terry and Larry would work great together.
That would be a great team.
That would be I think that would be a very good team.
Yeah.
Billy doesn't even need a partner. He could just win.
No.
Billy and the cat.
You have to have a partner. Who would be Billy's partner? Let's think about this for a minute. Who would be the best partner for Billy?
Samuel Ball.
Okay.
Okay, well, that won't work.
No, it won't work.
Billy.
You know who I think would be best with Billy? Alex the Giant from Eagle Canada.
Ooh, that's a good call.
Yeah. I don't know. I just see them working magic together. Like
Ooh.
they would, I don't know. I think they'd be a good team.
See, I'm seeing a dodge, like a set of, like you're at recess, everybody's picking for their dodgeball team, and Billy's definitely picked first. Like everybody's
He's a team
arguing.
captain. What are you talking about?
That's true, but I feel like that everybody's arguing over who gets Billy this time, and you have to like trade two people for
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
You know, like a little, yeah. Man, I don't know. Who do you pair with Billy?
Well,
It could be Alex.
how about anybody that's listening? Why don't you tweet at us who you think would be a good pair of the Amazing Race Oak Island edition, and that could be a fun little thing. Just use a hash. Let's make up a hashtag for it.
Let's put. See, I'm gonna dwell on this. Yes, we should make up a hashtag for it, but I'm leading towards Charles.
Oh, for what? For Billy?
Yeah,
Really?
opposites.
I would have thought. So who, like Doug and Paul, are a team?
Yeah, but they're so much alike.
They are so much alike, but sometimes
But
alike
they
is good too.
Well, they probably wouldn't even have to talk. Like they
Yeah, they
know what each
complement each other.
other's thinking.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I don't know. I think there's some magic to be made with this.
Oh yes.
So. Yeah. So what's the hashtag they should use if they want to tell us their Amazing Race team?
Hashtag Billy's team.
No. There's already hashtag Team Billy out there.
That's true.
So it's just like hashtag
Amazing
Oak Island.
Oak?
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Hashtag Amazing Oak.
There you
Use
go.
that, and we'll find it on Twitter. Maybe we'll read some of them on the next episode.
Yes.
And we can see what the actual dream team for Oak
Who
Island
the real
be.
dream team is.
Heck yeah,
Woo,
man!
woo.
That's even better than tag team champs, right? The dream team.
Dream team.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was fun.
We should, because this episode's long, get into our clot-worthy moments.
Wait. No. We didn't talk about next time on.
Oh,
and one other
crikey.
thing. One other thing about the Maddie Blake special. Mm-hmm. Maddie Blake confirmed season 7. I'm pretty sure everybody already knew there was going to be a next season, but he confirmed it. He was like, "I'll come back out for next season," and they're like, "Yep, we'll see you then," or whatever,
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be like, no, it's over. Of course they're going to have another season.
Yeah. So anyway, that was just like a little thing that they said at the end when
You had to
he
make
was
sure
talking.
to get that in there.
Yeah, when he was he was talking to Rick and Marty, like alone or whatever, and
the forest.
we love our team. You have a great team, dude.
Yeah, Kumbaya
Dudes.
and Fellowship of the Dig or whatever.
Yeah. So next time on
The Curse of Oak Island.
season finale.
Dun dun dun.
So if this is the penultimate episode, is that just like the ultimate episode?
I think it's called the season finale. Like, really? I thought you conversed with a bunch of really intellectual people. So you
do.
know what the almost last is,
babe,
but you don't know what the
babe,
last is.
Babe, I'm messing with you. Let's go.
Okay, see, he's just trying to cover his tracks.
Okay. They're running out of time.
I'm running out of time. We see Dan.
Yeah. Dan
That's
Blankenship.
evidence.
Yeah.
And he looks happy. And
did
that
look-
makes me happy.
That's brought a smile to my face too. But
We have a couple new theorists.
yeah, they're talking about how the Oak Island treasure could have been something that was I guess found and used for the Revolutionary War in the United States, right?
Which is
what it sounded like.
interesting because then they're like, ooh, Civil War gold. And
Well, Revolutionary War, different wars.
I understand, but I think they're trying to tie something into American history here because he's going to drive off the island, drive straight to Michigan like last year, right?
Well, probably.
No, definitely.
Yeah, one of the Oak Island Facebook groups that we follow, somebody had said, I think it says it's going to be a 2-hour season finale, but they said that was what happened last year.
But
instead of it actually being 2-hour season finale, it was a 1-hour season finale with the Curse of Civil War gold blowing right in, and it was tricking people to watch it.
rude.
Yeah, but I don't recall that,
Me either.
so I don't know.
Maybe our memory's bad. I think we've both admitted we have bad memories.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Before we discuss anything else, since I brought up Facebook groups, there's a couple of Facebook groups out there that aren't allowing us to post that our newest episodes are released anymore.
I know, it's sad.
It's a real bummer. Like, we want to try to get the word out about the podcast to as many people as possible. And, those are like some of the biggest platforms to reach as many people as possible. There's, I think, what is it, like 3 million some people watch The Curse of Oak Island. And that's a lot. And I wish we had a way to get the word out to everybody, all 3 million, that we exist. And if even like 1% was like, oh, we'll give that a try, that's a lot of people listening to us. But some of these groups on Facebook have more than 40,000, 50,000 people. And I think that's our best chance to
connect.
Yeah, at least show, hey, we have something to offer. Like we've always said, we never claim to be experts or anything, but we just like to try to have fun with the show and enjoy it with everybody else. So yeah, it's a little disappointing. So
well, they have a lot on their plate. I know they've had a lot of things to monitor in the group, and maybe. Well,
they think that we're just doing like kind of a self-promotion, which we kind of are a little bit, but it's
I guess
more of we're doing something for the community. We're not here to get rich or anything. We're not here to make any money.
No.
Like we're just doing it because it's a fun thing to do, and we love Oak Island
and the show and all the above.
And everybody else, anybody that would potentially listen to us is probably the same. And so it's just a little disappointing. Maybe a few of our listeners can say, hey, to them. I think you guys should let them post stuff. What happens if we have some cool interviews with some, members of the Oak Island team, like we're hoping to do during the off season? And do they not want their people to be able to listen to those? I don't know.
They'll just hope they find us on a different platform. And, it's not like we run the group.
Yeah, there's a few bigger groups that allow us to still post stuff. So we appreciate that. Yeah. Like I said, we're not making money or anything off this. We're hoping to...
Maybe someday.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Sure, but we're not. So
no, we're
just doing it as fun. If we ever did make money off this, we've talked about it before. If we ever did make money, it would just be to like fund treasure hunting adventures to go on and be podcast about those in the future too.
That would be so awesome. Love to do that.
Yeah, it's just a thought we've had. Anyway, the Revolutionary War. Back to the next time on Oak Island, but. Yeah, they talk about the Revolutionary War. How one theorist was talking about the Rochefoucalds.
Sure.
Sharing the truth about Oak Island. Oh, sorry, that's the same theory. With the founding fathers of America, and that's what Sorry. I was reading my notes backwards.
That seems highly unproductive.
Well, what the heck did you do? You talked about Dan Blankenship saying, I mean, that's evidence, and that's the last thing that happened on that. So you're reading from the very bottom.
Top.
Well, you took... notes in the wrong order then.
Well, you know what?
What?
I went through a wormhole.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, Rick finds another wall apparently. Surprise. And we do hear a holy shamoly from Gary. And that's basically the end of my notes from that because there wasn't very much to go on.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think they're probably... that was a lot to unpack.
Yeah, well, we kind of had 2 weeks to catch up on.
I know. I feel bad.
Hey, everybody that stuck in there and listened to this whole thing, thank you.
Yes, thank you. And let's get to the clout-worthy moments.
Let's do it.
All right. Last week, or 2 weeks?
It was the last episode with Robert Clotworthy.
Yes. Okay, so the last one that we had voted on.
I guess that was 2 episodes ago. Yeah. So the winner
is?
With 73% of the vote.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of a landslide, right? It was
a non-ferrous signal indicating the presence of a precious metal, such as silver or even gold.
That's interesting that's the one that won.
Or even gold.
Or even gold. A non-ferrous signal.
Yeah, that was the champ. So, and everybody that voted for that, thank you. And awesome, huh?
Yes. Are you ready to hear the ones for this week?
I sure am. I hope they're as good. That was a good one.
It was good.
I liked it.
Let's see what we got this time.
All right, let's hear it.
Placed stones.
Placed stones.
Okay.
I know, it's very short.
Very short. Not my favorite, but...
Nothing's your favorite.
It doesn't matter what I like. It's what...
Yeah, it's what they like.
It's what the listeners like.
You're the one that wanted it not always to be a landslide, and then you get disappointed when they're even. That's all I have to say about
You
that.
can't ever make me happy, I guess.
Nope, as long as we're clear about that.
When was the last time you made me happy?
Never! Jeez, love you too, butthead.
I love you 3.
Okay, here's a second one.
Okay.
Piled up boulders with water flowing through them.
It's the Battle of the Boulders.
Dun, 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 I
Stacked
guess.
rocks or boulders with water flowing through them.
Yeah, good choices.
Well, no, because you just said you didn't even like the first one.
Well,
So don't say that they're good choices. You're fibbing.
I'm trying to make you happy, okay? But I can't, apparently.
Because apparently, when was the last time I made you happy?
Never!
I don't know. I know what one I'm leaning towards, but
I probably know what one I'm leaning towards.
I'm leaning towards.
Well, those are fun. And everybody that wants to participate should go to our Facebook page and vote for the Clotworthy Moment.
I should.
And how can they get there?
They can find us on Facebook at Oak Island Podcast.
Boom.
Boom.
You can also vote on Twitter. And you would just have to look us up on Twitter at Oak Island Pod, right?
Correct.
Did I do it right?
You did it. I'm really
It
proud.
only took 20 some episodes, right?
Oh, that's it. But guys, you got to get a kick out of this. So the other day he asked me, he was posting something and mentioned posting it to your page or your wall.
Yeah, I said wall.
Yeah, on the wall. Yeah, Doug, not the page. It's still called the wall, right? I'm like, the wall? What are you talking? That's MySpace. MySpace. You don't post on people's wall. I was
Well, do we have a MySpace page for Oak Island Podcast?
no, we don't. No,
Oops.
this is not glittering backgrounds and
I remember that time you made my background look all nice and pretty back in the day.
it was gorgeous.
And it was sparkly with San Francisco Giants stuff on it.
yeah.
I remember.
It was cool.
You say I have a bad memory, but I remember. I remember the important things, okay?
Yeah, we met on MySpace. For those of you that don't know, so
Yep.
that's why he knows these things.
We did. We met on MySpace.
A little background on us.
Well, back in the day, or at least how MySpace worked at the time, when you log on, it shows a list of people that had recently logged on to Facebook
and that were
Facebook onto
nearby,
MySpace.
roughly.
Yeah,
right?
that are in your neighborhood, or not neighborhood, but geographically not very far away. And I saw your picture, and I was like, oh, well, she's pretty cute. And so I click on it, and I was like, oh, we have some things in common. And so I sent you a message.
Yeah, and here we are today.
Boom.
My mom didn't know that that's how we met until after we were married.
Yep.
And I told her we met through a friend of a friend. What she didn't know is that friend was MySpace Tom.
Yeah, it was Tom. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
He was my friend. Was he your friend?
He was my friend
Boom.
too.
You weren't lying.
What up, MySpace Tom?
Yeah. So that was cool. And then you met me in a parking lot at midnight alone.
Yeah, in Portland.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah, that was really stupid. I was really glad you weren't an axe murderer. Or
I'm glad
something.
too.
Yeah, because that would have been terribly unfortunate. I would not have lived.
Well, I'm glad you met me instead of someone that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely not my brightest move.
Yeah. And then we went out a late night dinner. I hadn't had anything to eat.
Yeah, and I
then,
watched you eat.
Yeah, and you watched me eat. I was like, aren't you gonna have anything?
I was
Nope.
not. It was really weird. What? I'm really not sure how we ended up here.
I bet you can remember what you're wearing.
Oh yes.
I
very
don't remember what
clearly.
I was wearing.
Yeah.
Was I wearing a Napoleon Dynamite shirt? Or was that the second date?
Your
That was the second date,
dress-up
right?
shirt. Yeah. Oh, there are so many horrible. We'll have to do just a side episode of how we met, the weird stories along the way.
We just gave him the gist.
Yeah, we gave them barely any cliff notes, but it's entertaining to say the least.
We have entertaining lives, okay?
Yeah,
Never a dull moment.
never a dull moment here.
So anyway, Clotworthy moments, please vote.
Please vote.
That was a real roundabout way of getting to that.
Oh,
Okay, so we
man.
did that.
Okay, we did that.
How about reviews?
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Perfect. All right, so the first one's not actually a review,
Okay.
but it's a comment from one of our YouTube listeners.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, this is short and sweet. It's really good. So this is from Agnes Brooks. So hi, Agnes, and thank you. It says, this show was your best. A real Bobby Dazzler. So I think that was last
Oh,
episode.
yeah. I remember seeing that. Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks. That was awesome. And this one, I think this might be my favorite review of the year.
Oh, wow. That's saying a lot.
Yeah, and I somehow missed it because this, or you know what? Okay. I'm realizing something else right now. Okay.
That you've already read this?
No, I haven't read it yet. So listen to this, okay? And then I'll tell you. I really love this podcast. I was glad to find a podcast as interested in the show as I am. My favorite part of the show is Dustin. He is the funny one. Sorry, Deidre. He is. Love the show. I hope they continue with a podcast for other armchair treasure hunts.
No wonder
Okay.
it's your favorite. And secondly, did you write that?
I did not. This is from Chuck Kreisman, but there's one caveat.
You paid him.
No.
Oh.
This was posted on April 1st. So I'm not sure what to take seriously here. I'm hoping he like
I don't
I don't
care.
know.
I don't care. It's tarnished. Chuck, even if you were trying to be nice to Dustin, I am sorry. It doesn't matter. This officially doesn't count. He is no longer the funny one. That was an April Fool's joke. Yes, drop the mic.
Oh
This
my
is
gosh.
my favorite review of the year. April Fool's, Dustin's not the funny one. Bam!
oh my gosh, that is so funny. That was good.
Oh,
Well, Chuck, if it was intended to be a joke or not, it was great.
yeah.
Thank you.
Even if you didn't intend it to, but I'm sure you did because you wrote it on April Fool's, and I would
Yeah.
hate to think that Dustin's the funny one
Oh my gosh.
because that would mean you have the same sense of humor as him. And
You know, I bet you Chuck likes Weird Al.
oh man, he probably does.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, unless he was joking.
Unless he was joking, then he's on my side.
Yeah, then he probably likes Michael Bublé or something. But maybe he likes both. I don't know.
Hey, maybe that just means he likes 90s music.
Maybe.
No, because he thinks you're the funny one.
Hey, you know what? Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe that means he has a wife like mine. Like mine. Like me.
Like
Like
you.
mine. Apparently I have a wife.
Hey, you know what? In this relationship, I definitely think I'm the funniest. Like, I'm actually the funniest person on the planet to myself.
Yeah, I know you think you're the funniest person
yeah.
you know, but you don't know many people either.
Only
And-
intellectual people.
And you only intellectual people. And you've already said you don't have any friends, just ones on the internet, so they don't actually count.
Okay. I think they do count.
Only when you want them to. You're the one that said they don't count. You're
Thanks.
like in this rabbit hole, this wormhole that's just like
Oh my gosh, that was funny.
Oh,
anyway,
man.
that was a Facebook review that I hadn't seen, and I should have seen it
man,
because
that was perfect.
we have read reviews since then. So I'm sorry I missed that earlier, Chuck. But man, either way,
Either
great
way,
review. That was fun.
that was excellent timing.
Yeah. And so we have one more review. It's a Apple iTunes review,
Okay.
and this is from History Sun, or maybe it's Histories On. I'm not sure. But anyway, it says, great time, like hanging with friends. Always enjoyed the podcast. I'm happy to hear I can also check it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
I usually listen while running, and I remember stuff from the TV show I had missed while watching it live. Excellent listen. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank
that.
you, History Sun, or I think it is History
History's
Sun.
on.
The S is capitalized, so
Okay, well then why would you even say it could be the other one?
my bad. I think it's History Sun.
Oh.
History Sun, you're awesome. Thanks. We really appreciate comments like that.
I'm sorry that he can't get your name right. I'm not
I'm
reading
terrible.
this, or else I would just say it correctly.
Hey, you know what? And I am terrible at pronouncing things. Terrible. If we, this is another aside. we do that a lot of that.
Yeah, that's
Deidre-
why this episode's so long.
Deidre and I want to go on the Amazing Race ourselves someday. Mm-hmm. I would be terrible at like trying to
my
pronounce things in
gosh.
different languages. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that would be so embarrassing because I'm not good at it either.
Yeah, but I'm way worse.
Well, I
You
don't.
could give it a go.
Yeah, you are really bad. I mean,
I'm
he
terrible.
calls quesadillas quesadillas.
That's a joke. That's a Napoleon Dynamite
See,
thing.
but here's the thing. He says it's a joke, but I truly believe, because I've never heard him say quesadilla.
Quesadilla.
Wow.
Sucka.
Sucka. Did you hear that? He just called me sucka. And it is recorded for everybody to hear.
I could edit it out. No, you could edit it this time. That's cool. Hey, anyway, yes. Another fun fact. I'm actually trying out for Survivor next month.
That's
Boom.
true.
Or I guess it's June 1st. So, but I'm going to try out for Survivor. And I'm going to tell them, hey, if you don't like me for Survivor, my wife and I, we'd be good on The Amazing Race.
And they'd be like, well, we like your wife, but not you. Would you be interested in...
And then they'll just take you on Survivor?
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, do you have someone else you can run the race with? And then you'd be like, Billy!
Yes. Yes.
Maybe you're the perfect teammate for Billy.
Oh my gosh. That's it.
I'm
the perfect
I'm looking
teammate
at you
for
right now, and
Billy.
it's like your mind is really blown.
I might be his number one. No, someone else is his number one fan, I'm sure. But I'm definitely a big fan.
Yeah, well, duh.
Like, at least, top 3.
Anyway, so yeah, that's fun, and
We should probably
yeah.
wrap this
Wait,
darn
one
thing
more
up.
one more thing. We need some more reviews. There's probably some that I haven't got to, but I don't know where to look for them. Like there's this.
Are they missing?
Well, no, I get an email from like my podcast reviews or something, but they sent me an email a couple days ago that said, "Hey, Apple's changing something, and we can't send you all your reviews." And I don't have iTunes, and it I could look up some, but like especially international ones, I have no idea how to look those up. So if you have left us an international review, maybe, and you haven't heard it on the podcast, like take a screenshot of it or something and like send it to me on Instant Messenger. Or is it Instant? No.
Instant Messenger?
Sorry.
Maybe you could also post it on your wall.
Babe, you're messed up, man. Stop.
You're the one
Be
that
nice.
started this.
Be nice to me.
Okay, so if you think he's the funny one, it's because because he says things like Instant Messenger and the wall, and he doesn't realize they're not things anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Do you also
Okay,
have
I didn't
an
say
AOL email?
I was about to say I didn't say AOL. It's a messenger.
But that's there's
That's
still
what it is, right?
that would be AIM.
Yeah. Whew. Yes. So I'm sure people still like. Okay. Whatever.
No, people don't still use Instant Messenger. They also don't use chat rooms.
They use AOL though.
Yes.
That's fine.
But it's like a paid for service for email. Mm-hmm. It's not AOL chat rooms.
Okay, I get it.
You've got mail.
I get it. Okay, my bad.
Okay, so let us know about the wall when you get a minute.
No, I'm just saying if you have an international review, you haven't heard us read on the podcast, please take a screenshot of it and send it to me on like Facebook Messenger or email it to us at oakislandpodcast@gmail.com or something like that.
You can also send him all of those sample AOL CDs that you get in the mail.
Oh,
He
wait.
would love to have those.
That was like, they haven't mailed one of those out in like 20 years. Come on.
I know, but someone somewhere probably has a stack of them that they'd love to send you.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, yeah, but you probably would think they would still send them out. You're stuck in 25 years ago.
Yeah, but obviously you don't know any of my comebacks.
Yeah, they're
So who
much
knows
better
who
coming out of your
best?
mouth than out of my mouth.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Hey, I think this was a great episode.
You always think it's our best episode, and I'm
Well-
telling you it's not, because right now we're pushing 2 hours, and I'm
Good.
telling you that our poor listeners would like us to stop.
Nah, I think they want more.
At this point, we're an audiobook. We are no longer a podcast. We have crossed over to audiobook
come on.
territory.
I listen to 3-hour podcasts all the time.
Because you have no friends?
No.
Or because all your friends are on the internet?
Okay, like when I'm doing chores and stuff around the house, I listen to a
You
podcast.
do 3 hours of chores at one time.
No. I listen to them in chunks.
How long does it take you to get through a 3-hour podcast?
I listen to them at night too, okay? Like before I go to bed, I listen to like an hour or so of podcast.
Okay. So we're going to sit here and debate podcasts
Yeah.
on a audiobook
No, on a podcast.
on a podcast that could be the length of an audiobook.
Okay.
All right, guys. So if you want to get a hold of us, you could always post to our wall over there on Facebook
You could.
at Oak Island Pod. You can also find us on Instagram. Wait, I said Oak Island Pod. At Oak Island Podcast. That's the Facebook. On Instagram, it is at Oak Island Podcast. On Twitter, we are at Oak Island Pod. You can email us at oakislandpodcast@gmail.com.
I already said that. Hey,
If you want to find us on the YouTube, Google it. Because until we get 100 subscribers, we're
we're like 82, I think.
100 subscribers, we don't get to have like a custom URL. We're just apparently not cool enough.
Yeah, I don't think they would look for YouTube, like Oak Island on YouTube via Google. I think they would go to YouTube and type in Oak Island.
That is true
podcast,
because it
okay?
is the second largest search engine.
It is. Yes, so do that. And hey, subscribe on YouTube. Even if you're not going to listen to us that way, just help us out so we can get our
so
custom
we can
URL.
not say it's ABC 49629er.
Yeah, whatever.
Please
it
don't
is.
type that in because I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and one more way you can get a hold of us, we do have our phone line that we
That's-
haven't been talking about. And it's probably because we haven't got a call yet, and we've only talked about it once. Anyway,
We got a text once.
did we? What did it say?
It asked if it could be I don't have it in front of me, if this could be our phone number. And I was like, yes, it could be. And I
Okay.
sent back an emoji.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
fun.
did it.
Yeah, good. Anyway, you can reach us on our phone line, which is just it's a recording. So you just hear the beep and you start talking, and you can say whatever you want.
That is how voicemail works.
I hope you are nice. You don't have to be nice. If it's mean toward Deidre, that's cool.
yeah, or
Just
mean
kidding.
towards Dustin. That's cool too.
All right, so that's 360-836-4549. One more time, 360-836-4549. Give us a call.
There is a voicemail
Yes.
about a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, see what I did? That we really should set up our voicemail like that.
We probably should.
That'd be rad.
It would be.
Well, until next time.
Could it be?
If structures were treasure, we'd be rich.